on the gate.
All right, here we go, folks. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is going to be the A-Class racing action right here for the Backyard MX preseason. Big names on the line. And I'm really looking forward to this one because a lot of these guys I haven't had a chance to watch really throw down, just yet here. So something I'm really looking forward to. And here we go as we approach the gate drop. Full gate of riders in this A-Class. And look at them all lined up here at Muddy Creek Raceway. We are about to get things going. And there's the revs. Cart goes sideways. The gate's about to drop for the A-Class at Backyard MX. Up into turn number 1. Who's it gonna be? Big pile up coming out with the whole shot. It's gonna be Hemi. And going to the inside here as they drop down into that right-handed sweeper. Let's see who it is as they come back towards us up and over this finish line section. And Owen is gonna grab the start with Hemi right in behind him. And where is Wheels? There he is in the number 3 spot. Skills right there with him, and Boardman Ethan in behind them on the Factory Goon Honda mounted machine. And no sign of Mick Chicken. Where is he? Where's Reese? That's the question right now. We're gonna find out as these riders work their way around here on the opening lap. First moto of season number 2 for the A-Class riders. Your leader making a mistake here up top. Couple riders going down. That hands the lead over to Hemi on the LR ride. And behind him, Wheels now up into the number 2 spot. What can he do? Looks like he's gonna go triple and then step on, step off. No, he makes a mistake here. Owen gonna get back by after that mishap at the top of the hill. And dropping down and in through that left-hander. We're gonna stick with the racing action. Gonna let these guys come through here. I just want to give you a little bit of a feature of what it's like to be in the A-Class at Backyard MX. Look at them as they come through these corners, side by side, bar banging action. We're looking for a couple of these heavy guns. I don't see them yet. Here's Mick Chicken. He's all the way in the back of the pack with Impus. Impus is right there with him. And I found him, folks. Let's see what he can do here. He is in a world of heat. He's got to really start to put something together. We got 13 minutes on the clock. Here's the man of the hour, Mick Chicken. He is riding on a KTM here tonight. Sounds like a 2-stroke. So an interesting change here. Riders down. This opening lap has kind of been havoc for quite a few of these guys. Mick Chicken down just on the left side there of the starting area. Let's go back towards the front here. John Davis, he is in a battle. And that looks like it's Munyon he's going at it with. Let's see as these guys come up and over. I'm going to jump forward. There's Reese. That's who I was looking for. So Reese.
Cal, if you end up hearing the sound of a sonic boom in your earphone, it's not a jet plane. It is Reese Cooper, who was in close to dead last off the whole shot and has hard charged his way up to a battle for 7th with Lucas right now within 1 lap.
So Cooper now on the move as he goes up and over the triple here, headed to the top portion of the racetrack. Wheels makes a move. Look at this. We have got a battle shaping up for the lead. We got the FXR Racing Kawasaki. Wheels going at it with McManus. He's on that McMonster Kawasaki. And in behind him, that's Dad Shoes to the outside. Dad Shoes makes a pass here on McManus. He's going to make something happen for himself and now finds him right here onto the rear wheel of Wheels. Meanwhile, let's get at it with the leader. This guy is all but checked out here early on in the opening moto for the A-Class. Hemi on the LNR ride. Let's get him a close-up here as he comes past the mechanics area, heads into that right-hander. We're going to follow him up the hill as he goes into the left-hander here. turn number 1. And dropping back down and in to that right-handed sweeper. This guy is on the gas here tonight. Let's stick with him. I'm interested in seeing what lines he's got here. As he comes up and over that finish line, he's going to check in. Timing and scoring telling us it's 4.8 seconds, but these guys are about to come back through. Let's see what he's got. 8.7 seconds over Wheels in the number 2 spot. So Hemi getting it done right now. Let's take a look at the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place riders. We got Wheels, Dad Shoes, and McManus going at it here. A-class battles happening for Backyard MX Series. Preseason racing action. This is what it's all about. Who's it going to be tonight?
Yeah, it's really incredible rides to see, especially from the McMonster guys. You see Dad Shoes is actually opting to ride a KTM tonight, but he is one of our McMonster riders. McManus is in here. McChicken is in here. So really a stacked A-class lobby, guys. The racing is just as intense as ever. Reese did go down, but has still managed to push his way back up into what looks like a 6th place position. So Wheels going down now. I'll pass it back to Cal, but Reese is pushing up to battle for this lead battle.
Here he is, Vox. I got him on the screen here. Reese is right onto the rear wheel of Wheels here on that FXR Kawasaki at the top of the hill. Wheels finds himself in trouble. He does lose some time, and a couple riders advance up past him. Here is Reese on that BRH ride on a KTM here tonight. And let's stick with him as he now is approaching Owen on that Alpine ride, and he goes to the inside, makes a pass. Look out, Reese Cooper is on the move. And coming back down into that right-handed sweeper, there goes Dad Shoes. Let's hop on board with McManus. He's on the McMonster Kawasaki. Look at this. Battle starting to shape up here. Is right in behind him. We find Reese. And he is beginning to push forward. Listen to that 2-stroke as it sings when it comes around. Owen right in behind him. Top 5 right now. Hemi is your leader. Dad Shoes in the number 2 spot. McManus in 3rd. Reese in 4th. And rounding out the top 5 is Owen. And behind him in the number 6 spot, that's Lucas Aredes. Jerb in the number 7 ride. Lemunion in 8th. 9th goes to Wheels. And rounding out the top 10 is Marco. So,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, here we go. We got battle shaping up here. We got Reese, Owen, and Lucas. These guys are 1, 2, 3 here coming through this section. Reese has got to pull it together if he wants to hold on to this, because I can tell you Owen is up and over the quad. He closes in a little bit here on Reese. Tell me about it, Vox. What do you see happening out there on that racetrack?
I see what I expected to see. The riders who we know within the community, people are fans of. They are out here up front and putting on a clinic. Nobody can complain that these guys are too fast for their class. There is nowhere for them to go except to the top. And it is such good racing to see. Sometimes I get lost in the commentary booth, man. I just become a fan of watching these guys ride, and I'm just happy to be a part of it.
And that's what it's all about, man. I tell you what, we're trying to get these guys on the edge of their seats. All the fans out there watching at home, talk to me in the chat. How are you liking the show here tonight? Are you on the edge of your seats? What do you think about these racing battles here for the preseason racing of the A-Class at Backyard MX?
So Reese is catching up to McManus here as they cross the finish line. He is less than a second back, just tire to tire.
And Dad Shoes, he is trying to close in onto the rear wheel of Hemi. Hemi's been holding it together here. This has been a strong performance. This is a great way for him to start off this season. Yes, it's only preseason, but guess what? Confidence is a major factor when you're racing in real life. Virtually, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You could be playing tennis and you still got to be confident in your abilities. Dad Shoes finds himself on the ground here, so he's going to lose a little bit of time. We're going to stay on board with him. I want to see what he can do with the leader as we see the leader going up and over this quad here. Dad Shoes not able to grab that. I feel like that's hurting him, Vox, as he comes around. I feel like that's costing him a little bit of time.
Yeah, some of the McMonster guys opted to hop on KTM two-strokes, maybe because it's preseason, maybe because they wanted to have a little bit of fun on these Rocket League-backed KTMs, but they got to be careful. I mean, these guys are used to riding 450s on this track and sending it full speed over that quad, so you know their muscle memory gets a little bit interrupted. Maybe they didn't practice this track as much today as they thought they needed to. So clearly it's cost him. He gets through that section clean. Dad Shoes makes a mistake and goes down. But Reese Cooper has pushed up into third place here. And McManus, something happened to McManus, and he has actually fallen back to fifth.
All right, so Reese Cooper on the move. This guy is not going to stop all the way until that checkered flag. I can tell you he's going to keep the throttle twisted and charge forward. Dad Shoes out ahead of him, and Hemi still your leader as we have 5 minutes and 20 seconds left to go here in Moto number 1. And Reese now works his way to the inside, up and over the finish line. He goes through the line once again. And as I look at the leaderboard, he's 7.7 seconds behind Hemi. Anybody that knows Reese out there, if you're watching, you know that this guy can run him down. He is one of the few that can make it happen. Another guy I want to point out is going to be McChicken. I'd like to head back here and see what he has going on. I know he had some mishaps there early on in the Moto, but it is very interesting to see this rider as he is having to deal with controversy here in this first Moto for the A-Class. And he is not short of the style points, that's for sure, as he scrubs up and over the tabletop here in the front portion of the racetrack. And working that outside line as he is in behind Skills. So as they come through the line this time around, McChicken finds himself in the number 9 spot and trying to advance forward. He's got to get something put together here so he can set himself up for a good overall. And look at this. To the inside, McChicken makes a move, and that's going to push him past Adam on that CC Yamaha. Looking at the board here, Adam came across in 11th, so these two battling for position, it does appear. Let's see what happens as they come back through the line. McChicken beginning to push forward. Let's go back on board with Dad Shoes in the runner-up position here. And through the mechanics area he goes. A lot of these riders taking that inside line right there. I tell you, it is super rough, but these guys are handling it. You know, it reminds you of a $2 steak from Walmart. It's just one of those things where you just got to keep plugging away at it.
So Cal, earlier in the lap, Reese Cooper ended up blowing over the berm before the table, which is before the quad, went down and let Owen and McManus buy into his spot. So he has been pushed back to 5th. As McManus goes down before the finish line, Reese gives him the point back and says, watch yourself, bro, because here I come. So Reese has now moved back up into 4th and is going to have to charge past Owen if he wants to move back into a podium position.
And that is phenomenal right there, because that's going to help him out in the overall. That's what this is all about. The first moto is going to carry over. It's really important. You know, you see these guys in real life, Vox, and they talk about, hey, a 1 is as good as a 2 in the first moto, or a 2 is as good as a 1. And, you know, it all unfolds in the second moto. That's where all the action is really going to come together, because these guys are going to know where they sit as they head to the gate for that second moto, and they are going to know how hard that they have to push and what they have to do to be able to get the job done here tonight, put themselves on the box, build that confidence, and move into the regular season.
So after the quad, after the tabletop, Dad Shoes goes down. It pushes him off track. He's able to get back up and keep it in line. He doesn't lose his second place position, but Reese did move up into 3rd and is closing in on him.
And this is what Dad Shoes did not want to have happen. He doesn't want to have these mistakes. He's got to hold it together. It's huge. We've seen it happen in the B class. It hurt Aiden. The crashes, they become a monopoly of some sort, and they begin to happen over and over, it seems like, here on MX Bikes. You got to really contain yourself. You got to really, really keep yourself situated and limit those mistakes that you have throughout these motos if you want to find yourself at the front of the pack come checkered flag.
So I just want to take a second and point this out. Our race leader, Hemi's best lap is a 149. His last lap was a 151, okay? Reese Cooper is running 1 minute and 46 second lap times, 3 seconds ahead of Hemi's fastest lap, and Hemi just went down. Hemi went down just by the Muddy Creek banner.
So here we go. Hemi having some problems of his own. We got 1 minute and 12 seconds left on the clock. Reese Cooper beginning to apply the pressure. And this is something that we have got to keep an eye on as they come back around the top portion of the track here, because Reese is really throwing it down. He's got good lap times. He's on 2 wheels. He hasn't had mistakes. Hemi has found himself on the ground. Could the pressure of leading this moto begin to really affect him? That's the question, because it can definitely happen. We've seen it before with these leaders. They get out front, the pressure is on them, and they know that these guys are on that racetrack. It's one of those things, Vox, where when you race in real life, you know that guy is there. James Stewart, or Ricky Carmichael, a Cian Cerullo, whoever it might be. And knowing that you're out front leading a race, knowing that they are there on that racetrack, but yet you might not know where they are. That is how that pressure builds, because you really don't know. And that's what's going on for Hemi right now here at Muddy Creek Raceway. He is trying to deal with the pressure and deliver a race victory.
Yeah, you start to kind of get comfortable and get into these grooves where you can just feel the atmosphere. You know that you've kind of checked out. Maybe you're getting word from your mechanic that you're starting to take your opponent to Gapplebees, as Snowboard would say. But once you start making mistakes, that's when you start to lose sight of just how far back the second place rider is. So then you start to worry, is he starting to catch me? You start to think about the worst. Is my opponent having the best race of his life while I'm over here throwing it away? That causes anxiety. The track starts to get rutted towards the end of the moto. You start to have to figure out new lines. So all these things can come late in the moto that can cause pressure and cause you to crumble underneath it. So Hemi's got to keep it up, and he's got to keep it consistent if he wants to take the moto win here.
And just as we talk about all this pressure, look at this. Dad Shoes. I'm not sure what happened with the timing and scoring. Maybe there's some cuts, penalty time there. But it appears that Dad Shoes has gotten back around Reese on my screen here, and that's going to put him in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, it looks like Dad Shoes' accident earlier in the moto that cost him some time might have pushed him off track. Even though he did re-enter correctly, he did have 5 seconds of cut. So in theory, Dad Shoes, or not in theory, but in physical position, Dad Shoes is in second, but his cuts have cost him that much. So if Reese can stay within 5 seconds of Dad Shoes, then he will finish ahead of him, given that he receives no penalties of his own.
And that's big news, because you don't want to have those penalties as you head into moto number 2. You need to have no penalties so that you can get the best possible result here in these motos. Let's take over the free cam here and see what's going on. I want to back away from these guys and try and catch some battles here on the racetrack. Reese trying to get back to the rear wheel of Dad Shoes now as they come down past that mechanics area. Tough night so far for John Davis. Davis right now struggling as he makes his way past that mechanics area. Here comes McManus on the McMonster Kawasaki with Owen just in behind him on that Alpine ride. And Mick Chicken, look at this, folks. Mick Chicken still plugging away at it. As they come through that right-hander, they go up towards turn number 1. Riders will come back down the hill into this right-handed sweeper. We are going to stick with Mick Chicken here to see what he can do.
So the white flag is out, and whatever it is he can do, he's got to do it quickly, because he's got just under 2 minutes to make something happen here with any positions that he's able to chip away at.
And that's huge news. So Mick Chicken running out of time. He's going to try and sacrifice every position that he can here as they work their way through these tables up top and through that long left-handed sweeper with this hip jump. Look at the style points for these guys. Oh no, a big mistake there from Owen. He throws it away, folks. That's going to advance McChicken up a position here as he tries to gain another one. He hits the triple to the top portion of the hill. Meanwhile, throwing his hand up, letting McManus know, hey, thanks for that pass. That was great. That was an easy one for me. Now I'm going to keep pushing forward. As this is the last lap, I'm going to try and find our leader here as he comes back around. Let's take a look and see where Hemi is at. That's the question.
Yeah, he's just got a couple corners left here before his finish line, and the checkers are out for Hemi. So It's looking good for him. It looks like he does have a little bit of a gap, and if he were to make a mistake, I don't know if Dad Shoes could capitalize on it. For our Reese Cooper fans in the chat, I will mention that Reese seems to have a knack for throwing unintentional backflips in the middle of rhythm sections. So in one of the uphills where you perform a double, triple, double, Reese actually looped it out backwards, did a full backflip, and did not land it.
Here
Reese
we go.
Pastrana did not land it.
Check this out. Checkered flag flies. Hemi takes the win here for the A-Class in Moto number 1. And as they come through the line, folks, I'm going to give you the rundown. Right now on the board, it looks like Dad Shoes across the line in the number 2 spot. Reese going to round out that podium in 3rd. Mick Chicken putting in one heck of a ride, finds himself in the number 4 position. And McManus is going to round out that top 5. Owen across the line in 6th, it looks like here, as I am still waiting on these guys to come through. Owen about 41 seconds behind the leader. Perfectly normal dealing with this A-Class. You see a lot of that type of stuff in real life racing as well. So gaps not abnormal here. These guys all pushing forward, all of them having problems throughout the race and just doing what they can with what is presented to them. So as I finish running down through the top 10 here, Lucas Lucas in the number 7 spot. I'm gonna have to get with him and make sure I say his last name correctly, but the number 414 ride of Lucas there in 7th. Skills across the line in 8th. Gerb rounds out the 9th position here on the 531 machine, and rounding out the top 10s, the number 411 ride of Wheels on that FXR Racing machine.
Really good ride from our A-Class guys. Some of the expected top finishers in your top 5. Man, I'd just like to point out that in these last few weeks, it's like Hemi has just found what he's been looking for. I know he's been winning some PDMX races. Here he is with the A-Class in Backyard MX with another W in Moto 1. So big shout out to Hemi on the Let's Ride Honda. He's just working it, guys. He's working his butt off, trying to make sure that he stays up front in these packs, and it is paying off. So race number 1 is officially over, guys. We will have a 10-minute break in between race number 2. So if the rider